Well, I think I think it's the correct decision. I think there's been one episode led to another this season, in terms of the mistakes that Celtic have made, and what's gone wrong. I think there was a lot of people wanting to see change, and I think the time has come for that to happen. A lot of supporters would have wanted it to happen earlier. So maybe they felt they could have gone and had a better fist, make a better fist of this particular title. It's such a massive, sort of unprecedented year that Celtic were going into. The historical possibility of winning 10 titles in a row. Both teams have done 9. Celtic are currently on 9. And it's just that, the ball and goalie incident at the start of the season, Lee Griffiths coming back not fit, being left out of the pre-season tour to France. And then Celtic decided to go to Dubai on a mid-season break. One of the lads came back with COVID, and then they had to self-isolate the team. 13 players had to self-isolate. During that time, they played 3 games, drew all 3 games. Now, this is a team that was trying to catch Rangers. They had to have 13 players out, self-isolating. So they had a makeshift team that they had to put out. I think they then went on to lose to St Mirren. They went out to the Champions League very early. The recruitment, I don't think they signed good enough players in terms of the recruitment at the very beginning. And then they lost 8-2 on aggregate to Sparta Prague over the 2 games in the Europa League, and hence being 18 points behind Steven Gerrard's Rangers. Now, this time last year, Celtic were in a position where they'd won 21 Rangers is 1, and that was the Petrofac Cup. So I think a lot of people think now that Rangers might go and get that little bit of momentum. They seem to have the edge. Of course, they're going to go on and win the title. They're going to spoil Celtic's party. Steven Gerrard's been at the club for 3 years. He's won his first sort of trophy there as manager. And I think it's probably the correct decision. And I think now Celtic can be actively looking for a new manager, a new team, because if they're not proactive, there's a danger that Rangers could be the team to catch in the future. And that shouldn't be the case, because Celtic were, they were ahead of steam, and it's just been one disaster from another this season. Now, Neil Lennon has to be remembered as somebody who won numerous titles as a player. He's won numerous trophies as a manager. I think he will be respected and regarded as a legend at Celtic. He loves the club, Irish Catholic, supported the club. But I think it was time to make the change personally. And I think now, as I said, John Kennedy will take over as interim manager between now and the remaining 8 games of the season. 2 of them games come against Rangers. But the league is done. And, I think Celtic will be actively looking now for a new manager. And normally managers these days, they like to bring in their own team with them. They're trusted assistants and sports science guys. So I think it's all to be played out now, whatever type of manager they want. But generally, the managers nowadays do come with assistants, and they bring 2 or 3 along with them.
Is this a pivotal moment then in Celtic's history? Because it's not just Neil Lennon, Peter Lowell as well is stepping aside in the summer. It seems to be a moment of upheaval at Celtic Park.
Well, it's all gone desperately wrong. The results haven't been good enough. They've gone out to bottom team Ross County in the Cup, lost again on Sunday night. Is it a pivotal moment? I would say yes. And I think Neil shouldn't be held accountable for all the decisions that have gone wrong. I think the recruitment officer, has to look at himself and say, was paying £5 million for Barkas, the Greek goalkeeper. He's not in the team now. He's not even made a decent save all season, in my opinion. £5 million for Celtic is an awful lot of money to pay for a goalkeeper. They brought in Albion Ayeti from West Ham. Played about 6 times off the bench for West Ham. when you had Ivan Toney that Celtic could have got for £500,000 more. Celtic were alerted by Peterborough when Brentford put up the £5.5 million fee to sign Toney. Why Celtic didn't go and get him, I don't know. There's been other players as well, loan players, Laxalt, that have come in. A pivotal moment, yes, because as I said, they need to get it right, because Celtic have been so successful in the last 10 years. And the big thing is, from the supporters, this was a massive year for them. This was the holy grail if they could get 10, and it's just not been acceptable the way that the team have just sort of dropped so low. I was telling people that Celtic were going to do 12, 13, 14 titles in a row. That's how dominant they were and far ahead they were of their biggest rivals. Rangers have had a great season. They've capitalised, on Celtic's poor sort of performances, doing very well in Europe. Steven Gerrard has been working on a team, 4-3-3. He's got good players there. He held on to his best players in the window, likes of Kent and Morelos. I'm sure there were bids for them. Goldson, big head on a stick, centre half. So it is pivotal for Celtic. As I said, John Kennedy will take care of this season, but the managerial appointment is very much up in the air. I don't think John will get the job on a permanent basis. It's not really going to be based on results now. The league is done. Rangers can celebrate now if they want. So it's important they get the right one in, get the right team in. His name has been mentioned, like Eddie Howe and Steve Clarke. Obviously, the national manager is a Celtic fan. Sometimes Celtic and Rangers tend to go for them type of managers who have like an affinity with the football club. So for me, it's vitally important. Mark Hughes is out of a job. Eddie Howe, I don't know what you're doing, Steve, but again, it's going to be a case of who sort of what type of manager the club will go for. It's a big job. It's a massive job. Celtic is a global football club. Incredible support. And as I said, Neil should be respected because he's done very well in terms of his play career and his managerial career here. But I believe it was the right time, for both parties, to go the way it's gone right now.